Hi, welcome to The Religion Show. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's been sending their thoughts and prayers to me. If you saw my last episode, I got a combination circumcision vasectomy job. And I showed some visible pain on screen. And so I'm feeling a lot better now. As you know, I kind of misunderstood what a vasectomy actually is. And so I went to get a reverse vasectomy, and the good news was the priest or rabbi or whatever he was that gave me the vasectomy didn't do it. So he cut my scrotum open and didn't manage to sever the tubes he was supposed to sever. So, it's a kind of a good news, bad news story. But thanks. A lot of you have been sending out good thoughts and prayers. I've been getting those. I've been feeling them, as you know, sending out thoughts and energy. We get that. And the prayers work, of course, also. Speaking of thoughts and prayers, there has been another, at least one school shooting since the last time I've talked about school shootings on this show, and I wanted to clear up a misunderstanding. People get angry whenever thoughts and prayers are sent out after school shootings, and they say the thoughts and prayers aren't saving, the students from getting shot. The thoughts and prayers are not to prevent school shootings. The thoughts and prayers are for the people who are still alive. So we want to get that straight. The other thing we want to straighten out is that, nothing can prevent school shootings because guns don't kill people. An angry God whose country has turned their back on him kills people. And he's chosen to do this through a willful misunderstanding of the Second Amendment that actually eradicates the entire first part about a well-regulated militia. So this is just how it works, folks. Okay, so get your terms straight, learn what thoughts and prayers are, know how the Second Amendment factors in, where does God fit in all this, okay? I mean, that's what I'm here for in part, to help you understand these things, but, I just hope you'd be, smarter than that. All right, so let's get on with the religion show.
The Religion Show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Religion Show. I thought in this monologue portion of the show that I'd take the opportunity to let you guys get to know me a little better. A lot of you were writing me about my operation, which I'm glad about. And a lot of you were asking very personal questions. I guess you figured out I was married. I always wear a ring on the show. A lot of you were asking about my wife. She, doesn't really want to be a part of this show, which is understandable. She has her life. I've got this whole thing going. But I will answer, other questions. And some of you wanted to know about some things that I did before the religion show, because, believe it or not, the show is only a few months old, although it seems like it's been around for years and years now. Some of you uncovered something. Some of you actually acted as if you found something I would be ashamed of. It was a thing called Rusty's Records, and you saw, can I get a clip of this? Yeah, in a previous episode you saw this record, my CD collection here, and you kind of put two and two together and said, isn't that you from that record show? And guilty, that's me. That's a TV show I had before this one. It didn't last long. It was kind of a one-off anyway, but I was hoping it would get picked up as a regular thing, but it didn't. But that is me, and just as a treat, for those who haven't seen it, I thought we'd play a little clip of it for you to enjoy. Now this is one that I really, really like. It's called "You Don't Have to Be Very Big at All." This is one that I've had a long time, but I try to take care of it, and it's good Christian messages. These are Christian puppets. They do say that women shouldn't talk in church, and this is a church record, so that theory actually makes some biblical sense. All right, so that was Rusty's Records, and a lot of you are asking, is that your name? Is your name Rusty? Could be. Or it could just be that the title Rusty's Records is a nice alliteration. So there are some things I don't want to get into about myself yet, and my name is one of them. But that was me. It wasn't my twin brother, although I do have a twin brother. But that's neither here nor there. We don't get along that well. But yeah, got a twin brother, got a wife. Don't have kids yet, obviously, but working on it. What else do you need to know? I don't know. Let's go to the news. Welcome to Religious News. We're going to do something a bit different tonight. Instead of covering a lot of different religious news stories, I'm going to do what they call these days a deep dive, where we talk about one subject for an extended period of time. And the formatting might be a bit different and things like that, so just get used to it. That's what I'm going to try to do, and we're going to go into it. And tonight's deep dive is on the Pope. And I know what you're thinking, why couldn't you do a deep dive on chocolate teddygrams? And the reason is because you fucking ate them all, Caroline! You fucking ate them, you piece of frustrating shit! Seriously, though, the Pope is what we're doing the deep dive on. Sorry about that. We're going to do stories all about the Pope tonight, and specifically on the current Pope, the liberal Pope, Pope Francis. And his story begins when Pope Benedict XVI quit in 2013 because he was, and I quote, too pooped to Pope. Yeah, so Pope Francis, he was just immediately different, and everybody immediately loved him because of it. I mean, he immediately washed people's feet, humbled himself in that way. He took a bus. He drove a normal car. He refused to wear a cape. I mean, this guy. People thought, would he change everything about the Catholic Church and Christianity in general? And so, people started asking him questions that had been on their mind, like, are you going to help the Catholic Church change their mind about gay bashing? And his answer was, let's see, nope. Another quotation here. When asked about the Church's history of child rape, this is what he said. He said, "The Catholic Church is perhaps the only public institution that is moved with transparency and responsibility. No one has done more, and yet the Church is the only one that is being attacked." What? Is that really what it said? All right. Here's a weird one. The Pope went to a funeral of his confessor, saw a cross he liked that he was wearing, and stole it from him. The Pope said, "There came to mind the thief we all have inside ourselves, and while I arranged the flowers, I took the cross, and with just a bit of force, I removed it." And he still wears that cross. You probably remember the last show I did a little segment on the Ten Commandments. We didn't get around to all the commandments, but I'm pretty sure one of them was don't steal, so there's that. So we're moving through time. The Pope got elected or smoked into office or whatever they do in 2013. 2014, he actually met with some abuse victims. Because I know that if I were abused by priests, what I would want to see is this larger-than-life version of my rapist consoling me. Pope Francis had this to say about priests raping children. He said, "Sexual abuse is such an ugly crime because a priest who does this betrays the body of the Lord." Yep, he betrays the body of the Lord. That's the thing that the priest betrays. Cindy, I'm going through these, and I love the liberal Pope, I do, but it's just these are hard to These are hard to take. Did these really, this is all real? Okay. All right, I'll get back to the stories. In 2015, the satirical newspaper Charlie Hebdo was attacked by religious extremists because the newspaper had depicted pictures of Muhammad and other sort of things that were satirizing Islam. And they killed about a dozen people and injured about a dozen more. And Pope had this to say. He said, "One cannot provoke, one cannot insult other people's faith, one cannot make fun of faith, and if you do so, you should expect a punch." So, turning the other cheek or killing people who draw a cartoon. Okay. All right. So, speaking of hurting people for no good reason, the Pope said it was okay to hit children as long as, quote, their dignity is maintained. Here's a quote. He says, "One time I heard a father in a meeting with married couples say, 'I sometimes have to smack my children a bit, but never in the face so as to not humiliate them.'" And then Francis says, "How beautiful." And then he says, "He knows the sense of dignity. He has to punish them, but does it justly and moves on." So you heard it here from Pope Francis. Hit your kids with dignity. Don't punch them in the face. Speaking of children, the Pope once said that not having children is selfish. The Pope, the celibate Pope, said that. Cindy, 2016 was a important year for the Pope. It was called the Holy Year of Mercy. I remember that year. It was a fun year. We did a lot of cool Holy Year of Mercy stuff. Anyway, the Pope decided to do something really nice. He thought that instead of excommunicating women who had had an abortion, he said that what they could do instead, just for this year now, just for this Holy Year of Mercy, they could come and admit what they had done, ask forgiveness, grovel at the feet of their priests, just kind of tell what horrible people they were, and they might get forgiveness for that. So if you're wondering what his views on abortion are, you don't do it. But, if you were around in 2016, you could have at least maybe gotten forgiveness for it or something. I don't know. Oh, and also divorced couples, people who had been in a divorce, they were told that they could have a long, difficult path toward forgiveness and maybe be able to participate in eating and drinking God's body and blood again. So that's something. Hey, we've heard about gay people, we've heard about abortions, we've heard about married people. What about transgender people? What did the liberal Pope say about transgender people? Well, he said that they are the cause of wars, cause of poverty, and the refugee crisis, and that being told you're even allowed to be transgender is, quote, terrible. So, here's one. What about women? 2016, the Pope confirms the finality on the ban for ordaining women priests. So, it was never something that was ever an option, but the Pope just wants to make sure no ladies wearing priestly dresses. And but on the plus side, I guess women don't have to be priests. So it's kind of like imagine like a really horribly abusive, powerful man wearing a top hat. Now imagine like a really horrible, terribly abusive, powerful man, but he's not wearing a top hat. The man not wearing the top hat is Pope Francis. We're kind of speeding through this, but we're up to 2018 now with Pope Francis. And in 2018, the Pope publicly apologized for all that raping that priests have been doing for millennia. So had a big, announcement about it and publicly apologized, and then went on that same day to have mass with a bishop who abused teenagers. So Cindy, why are you... This cannot be real. Then why do they call him the liberal pope? Seriously. All right, so this catches us up to where the religious show started. And when we started reporting on Pope Francis, first thing we reported was that he confirmed that hell existed. We talked about that. We saw last time where we talked about the atheist dad who was burning in hell. And so now, this catches us up. My producers have given me all the brand new story about the Pope. I hope this is a good one. Yeah, pretty good, actually. Okay. It says that the Pope recently told a gentleman that he was born gay and that it's okay to be gay and it's okay to be born gay. And the Pope loves him as a gay person and God loves him as a gay person. So that is good news. I guess we'll just end with that. We have a clip of the rest of that conversation.
Hey, thanks Pope Francis for accepting who I am. I'll tell my boyfriend we can get married. You can't get married. What? I thought you said it was okay that I'm gay. Yes, it's okay that you're gay, but you can't get married and you can't have a boyfriend. What? I can't have a boyfriend either? Why not? If you have a boyfriend, you're likely to have sex. Well, of course we're going to have sex. We already have sex. No, you can't do that. The church sees homosexual sex as acts of grave depravity. But you just told me that God made me gay and that it was okay and that you love me and he loved me. Right. But I can't have a gay relationship or have sex. Right, you are called to chastity. Well, that's no way to live. Can I at least masturbate? Ugh, you're disgusting. Now, if you don't mind, I have an endless amount of child rape cases to cover up.
Okay, so that happened, and then the very next day, the Pope said that absolutely no gay people can be accepted into the seminary. And that brings us up to date on Pope Francis, the liberal Pope. I mean, and I guess if I were to write a headline to all of this, it would be Pope who is really good with PR seems liberal by comparison to religion which we expect to be horrible and immoral.
Ta-da!
Cindy, don't worry. This is not, I'm not back on the drugs again. I'm not having a crisis of faith. This is just a difficult one for me is all. And I can't polish this turd. You know what I mean? What do you suggest? Confession? Hey guys, my producer has told me that maybe I should go to confession for being a bad newsman. So that's what I'm going to do. Father, forgive me for I have sinned. It's been a while since my last confession. And I've been a really bad newsboy today. I was supposed to do a trendy deep dive on the liberal pope and explain why he was such a great liberal pope, and I just couldn't do it, Father. And I know he's the liberal pope. All my liberal friends tell me he is, and I trust them with all the articles they share and all the news clips and everything. And so, I don't want them to be more religious than me. So I guess I just ask forgiveness for doing such a bad job with this segment.
No, Big Whoop. Don't worry about it.
Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed that confession. I feel a lot better and ready to get on with the show and talk some more about religion. Now, we talk a lot about some of the big religions on this show, like Christianity or Islam or Hinduism, but there are a lot that are underrepresented, and I would even say oppressed. And there's talk, like where I live in America, I hear Christians all the time saying they're oppressed, and they are to a degree. But if you really want to know what religious oppression looks like, then I'm going to introduce you to a new segment called What Religious Oppression Really Looks Like. Today we're going to be talking about a religion that's so oppressed and that you've probably never heard of it. It's practically extinct, and I don't know anybody who still practices this religion at all, except me, and I've only recently been reminded of it. I was watching television the other day, and I remembered something from my childhood that, it's the Babarambama people. I'd forgotten all about them. If you do remember them, you probably remember hearing about them from a TV show called What's Happening with Rerun and Raj and all the gang. So what I want to do today is show some clips from that episode. Okay, we don't need the theme song. Just cut to.
Where are you going on your big date? Church. Church.
So first of all, why is it funny that he's got a date at church? I mean.
And there she was standing on the corner with the tambourine, singing. Shalagoon, shak, shak. Shalagoon, what? Shak, shak.
You can see that this part is just offensive all around. It's just making fun of the words just because they don't sound like the kind of words you often hear in America.
Be careful. I mean, there are a lot of new religions doing good work. But there are plenty of those fly-by-night religious cults.
Fly-by-night religious cult? What?
So you can't believe everything you hear.
You can't believe everything you hear. Can't you?
Wanda Jordan is one of the biggest con artists around.
Okay, so we learned that Wanda's a con artist. Big deal. I, like Raj in this episode, am willing to give her the benefit of the doubt.
The truth is, she's the only one that made me want to go on a diet and lose weight, do well in school, and have some respect for myself. But if there's more truth, go ahead, tell me. Go ahead, what's the truth?
People have argued that even if something is not real or fake, or even if God doesn't exist, if it makes people feel better, why go against it, man?
Ralph is the name of our God, the symbol of all that's natural, clean, and pure.
And you call him Ralph?
Ralph is not a him. Ralph is a head of lettuce.
You worship a head of lettuce?
So, okay, here's where it comes in. Ralph is a head of lettuce, and you'll notice, by the way, I have not a head of lettuce here, but I've got some Foxy organic broccoli, which I'm not selling, but, if they want me as a sponsor, then consider this a plug, because I do love this broccoli a lot. This is huge broccoli.
We do not worship the lettuce. We worship Mother Nature. Mother Nature's our divinity. The lettuce is only a symbol.
Okay, so they actually worship nature. This is becoming more complicated by the second.
All new members of the Babarambama must shave their heads and fast for 3 days in order to cleanse the soul. We must then give the priest the money we would have spent on food and Afro sheen.
Okay, so you fast and you give the priest money that you would have spent on food and an Afro sheen. So, this sounds actually fair. I know that the show is pitching this as being a scam just to get even more money, but it's not. It's a way of keeping the church in business, and it's a way of fasting for Rerun. I'm sure this was picked for him because he did need to lose weight. And also fasting, of course, is just an ancient spiritual way to get in connection with with your spiritual side. So all this is great so far.
Hi, Ralph.
So there's Ralph, and he gets to see Ralph, talk to Ralph. How many people get to see, the gods? Hinduism has, a lot of little statues and things. And again, it's important to know that they don't worship the statues. The statues are a thing that is meant to be an object of focus so they can think about what they're actually thinking about, which is something that transcends words and all thoughts and that kind of stuff. So Ralph is doing exactly the same thing here.
Tomorrow, while all those poor misguided fools out there chanting to their letters, you and I will be on our way to the peaceful waters of Tahiti with their cabbage.
Even if Martha and her boyfriend are stealing the money, so what? If the religion works, it still works. So far, I still don't see an issue.
And she said, squat thyself across the pot, for I don't need money. And in return the money to the brethren and the sisters, for Mother Nature only needs love. Oh, shout lak lak
Okay, now this is good. This is good stuff. I wasn't expecting the show to go in this direction, but this is cool. This is what happens when new members of a group take over the group and oust the leaders, the people who have corrupted it, and say, no, this is how we're going to run it.
Only Mother Nature can remove me.
But Mother Nature will never come.
Then we better call a tow truck.
She is a concept, an idea, a dream.
Not anymore, Martha. Not anymore, Martha.
Did you hear that? She called me a dream. Rise, my son, and all take back your money.
Now, wait a minute here.
Let us go.
Okay, wow. That episode blew me away. Originally, I was told that this just made fun of new religions and religions that were considered cults, things that made you shave your head, or made fun of Eastern religions, or Hare Krishnas, or even Hinduism. But I'm actually impressed with the way this episode turned out, and this new version of the Babarambama people is actually the one I'm going to start following. And this is the version where Mother Nature is personified by Raj's mom, and Abu is the prophet who brings all of this about. Ralph is reduced to a false god, the head of lettuce, and the corrupt, money lenders, essentially, or whatever you want to call them, were, given the ousters, as they say. So this is cool. So I am one of the Babarambama people. Okay. We don't need the closing credits. All right, folks, that is it for me. This has been a different kind of show, but I hope you've enjoyed it. We've got a final thought here that the producers have given me. He who doesn't pray to the Lord prays to the devil. Pope Francis. Thanks, Cindy. Oh shit! We didn't even do a prayer at the beginning. Oh my God! Forgot all about the prayers. Okay, we're gonna do one now. This is our prayer. I'm gonna do let's do a classic. This is for Cindy. This is a classic, progressive, liberal Christian prayer. All right, here we go. Father God, we just come to you humbly, just humble before you today, God, and we just...
I believe in everything. I believe